Okay, now we're gonna talk about my favorite event on the whole list, Jamestown. So Jamestown was the first successful European settlement in the United States, which was located sort of where Roanoke was, and this was founded in 1607. The trip was founded by the Virginia Company of England, and basically a bunch of men, it was all men at first, came over to Virginia in order to try and start a successful group. And they struggled a lot with the land and the resources, and they struggled to get food for themselves due to the unknown terrain. And they also had trouble using the same strategies and resources that they would have used in England, so they were unaware that the land was going to be so different, so it was difficult for them to grow the same things that they did in England, which being that they were having trouble growing food, they were unable to survive a winter of a lot of the time. They never were completely wiped out, but they did result in a lot of people dying during the winter, until they became acquaintances with the Powhatan people, in which they traded European goods like beads and gunpowder for corn and maize. And the Powhatan people were just one of the bigger surrounding native tribes of the land. And another story about Jamestown is when Disney and other people talk about Pocahontas and John Smith, they're in love. They're not in love. There's a big age gap. They maybe met like a couple of times. There was this very significant age difference. Pocahontas was like 13 and John Smith was like 27 when he came over, so that's just kind of icky. But basically the relations with the natives eventually over a couple of years turned very hostile, and Jamestown colonists and the Native Americans, or Powhatans, ended up feuding. But Jamestown overall was a success, obviously, as this country follows many European traditions and styles. And a reason why Jamestown was so successful is because they had such advanced technology from over in England. They had guns at this point in history, whereas the Powhatan tribe often used like bow and arrows, which were still effective in hunting and hurting people, but guns just got the job done quicker. So overall, Jamestown was a success. But it did cause the United States a lot of trauma and really got Native American tribes rubbed the wrong way. So because of that, the United States has a lot of issues with Native American tribes that I think started because of Jamestown.